It's time for the 1430 Connection on 1430 WNAV and 99.9 FM, spotlighting news, newsmakers, and important community issues. Now, with this week's edition of the 1430 Connection, here is WNAV news anchor Donna Cole.
Welcome to the 1430 Connection. I am Donna Cole. In the studio with me today are Mike Ashford. He's the founder of the Annapolis Dragon Boat Club. He's a breast cancer survivor. He's also former owner of McGarvey's. Louise Kirk, she's vice chairwoman of the Annapolis Dragon Boat Club, also a breast cancer survivor. And then we have Patti DiMicelli. She is on the marketing committee for the Annapolis Dragon Boat Club. Thank you all very much for joining me today.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for having us.
So let's talk first. Mike, yes, former owner, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And he has just informed me he's going to be running for president.
It seems to be an opening.
So we're looking forward to that. You started the Annapolis Dragon Boat Club in the wake of
breast cancer, mastectomy, right side, and then 10 days later, more surgery to take lymph nodes. Mm-hmm. Dr. Tafra, who's superb.
At Anne Arundel Medical Center.
At Anne Arundel Medical Center. I can't praise her high enough.
We've had her on, and she is wonderful.
She is wonderful. And she took 15 nodes out, one of which was infected. After that...
What year was that?
That was in... I was diagnosed at the end of 2008, and I finished treatment in the middle of 2009.
Nice. So, survivor here, men's breast cancer. How did you discover it?
I was in a program for healthy lungs. My father died of lung cancer. Uh-huh. I smoked cigarettes till I was 41 years old, which is my age when he died. And Dr. Stan Watkins, who was my friend and family physician, also the chief of oncology, had me in a program where my lungs were x-rayed every now and then. And he spotted 1.5 centimeters something just outside of my right nipple. And they went in with a needle biopsy and found out that indeed it was cancer. So that started the process. By the time I finished with the mastectomy and the other surgery, the next surgery for lymph nodes, I was asked to be the keynote speaker at the first National Cancer Survivors Day. I was not speaking nationally, but we had about 500 people out here at Anne Arundel. And in the course of that, I was trying to think of what we could do that would be a little different than the normal eat well and exercise. Mm-hmm. And I knew about dragon boats for therapy. A Canadian doctor discovered that exercise, particularly paddling exercise, was very therapeutic. Before that, the instructions were to not stress the surgical sites. Be very gentle with them. Don't stress. Well, the paddling is stressful in those sites, but it is restorative. And so as I was gabbing away, I said, we don't have a dragon boat survivors, and that's a word that I switched to warriors. Here we call ourselves the sailing capital of the country, or East Coast. Right. That started it. At the end.
What year?
I think it was 2010.
10, was it?
Yes,
yeah.
Yes.
And for those that don't know, a dragon boat looks like?
Dragon boats go back 2,500 years in Asia, especially China. They're long ski boats that have 22 paddlers, 2 by 2 by 2 by 2, and a drummer for the beat, and a steerer standing in the stern, steering with the paddle.
Do you have to be musically inclined to be the drummer? Just out of
No, you just have to be able to tap your foot, I suppose.
You need a sense of rhythm, though.
Okay.
It's harder than it looks, actually.
Yes, it is. These primarily women, but there are some men. Men now are being diagnosed more and more with breast cancer, but they are incredible. They're fantastic. People see these two boats go out and the paddles flashing.
And they're red, are they not? They're kind of like a red look.
One is pink.
Yes, one's pink.
Well, that makes
and
sense.
One's red. That's yes. We have the Maryland colors because we're the Maryland team.
And that's Louise talking. For those that, and I forgot to mention this, by the way, for those that don't know, October is, Louise?
Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
So, and this is the reason why we're having this event. It is this Sunday. It's from 2 to 6. It's called Paddling with a Purpose.
That's right.
And it is at?
That's our annual fundraiser. It's at the Annapolis Waterfront Hotel. It's a great party to celebrate the end of the season. We've had a particularly enjoyable and successful season. We've just come off a race in Cape May, New Jersey last week where we won a first place medal.
Oh, wow, nice.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it feels good to boast.
All right, let's talk. Let's take a quick break and let's talk more about the event because this is open to everybody. It's not free, but the money goes to a good cause, and it's right downtown Annapolis, as well it should be. We are the sailing boat capital. Let's just say the world. Why not? Let's just claim the world. Sorry, Newport, Rhode Island. This is the 1430 Connection. I'm Donna Cole. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the 1430 Connection. I'm Donna Cole. In the studio with me today are Mike Ashford. He's the former owner of McGarvey's. He's getting ready to start his presidential campaign. He's also a breast cancer survivor. And we have Louise Kirk, vice chairwoman of the Annapolis Dragon Boat Club. Mike founded the Annapolis Dragon Boat Club. And Patti DiMicelli, she's on the marketing committee for the Annapolis Dragon Boat Club. This Sunday, the Annapolis Dragon Boat Club is having an event called
Paddling with a Purpose.
And tell me what's involved with this event. It's going to be a lot of fun for everybody.
Well, first and foremost, it's a great party. It is also a fundraiser. It's the way we keep our boats on the water. And we have an incredible silent auction, lots of really fun things to purchase, including trips and gift cards and all kinds of things. It's a way that we can keep our boats on the water for the next year. Our club charges a very small fee for belonging to the club because we try to be open to absolutely everyone who is a survivor or interested in dragon boat paddling. The membership fees don't cover our costs, so we use this fundraiser as a way of making sure that, as I said, we can keep our boats on the water for the next year.
This is so important for breast cancer survivors because, again, as Mike said, it's a restorative.
That's right. We, just talking for me personally, the act of paddling is very helpful in reducing lymphedema, which is a very common side effect of having breast cancer surgery.
And you speak from some experience.
I do speak from experience, yes. Such an unlikely candidate because I think of myself as the healthiest person in the world, but my breast cancer was discovered by mammogram. Just a routine mammogram.
Which stage?
In stage 2. I had a tiny tumor, but it was already invasive, so I ended up having a couple of surgeries and chemotherapy and radiation. It's sort of the belt and braces approach. I'm very healthy now.
Congratulations.
That's 3 years later.
Nice.
Thank you. Yes, it feels great, and it's very compelling then, I think, to help other people who are going through the same process. And that's the point of our club, not only to keep us fit and healthy and enjoying life, being, as Mike says, warriors and not survivors. None of us are victims. We are fighting with all we've got. And we're fighting to help other people to help those people who are still going through treatment, who've only just been diagnosed. We have so much resources in terms of the life experiences that we've had that we feel that we can help people both physically and mentally.
The other thing that we can't underestimate is the power of being out on the water, right?
Oh,
yes.
Absolutely.
There's a book, an important book called Blue Mind. It's published within the last year or two. And it's a scientific proof that being around or near water changes some of the electrical sparking in your brain. And this is not the sort of science I normally would say is real, but it's absolutely easily proven with EEGs and so forth and measuring brain waves that when we get on or near the water, we feel better. And it doesn't have to be the bay or the ocean.
Right.
It could be a little stream, back in the mountains
West
somewhere.
River, South Rivers, there's no denying it. That's probably a big reason why many of us are here in Annapolis, right?
Why waterfront real estate is so expensive.
Yes, the water is a huge draw, and we're lucky enough to paddle on Spa Creek downtown, which is so beautiful, gives us a great opportunity to feel that serenity twice a week.
This is your biggest fundraiser of the year. We can now see why this is so important. Do you get grants? Do you get funds through other ways? Or is it...
No, we are entirely volunteer funded. We rely on volunteers to help us with the boats, to run our club. So this is it, folks. This is it.
So are you looking for volunteers for those that can't donate money but want to donate some time to this cause?
We would love to have any volunteers, yes.
And where do people find out more information?
Our website is Annapolis Dragon Boat Club.org, and all our contact details are on the website. We can also offer paddles during the season. If you want to try out dragon boating, see if it's for you, you can paddle twice for free before having to commit to joining the club.
All right, very good. We're going to take another short break. We will be right back on the 1430 Connection. I'm Donna Cole. Welcome back to the 1430 Connection. I'm Donna Cole. In the studio with me today, we have the Annapolis Dragon Boat Club. We have the founder, that's Mike Ashford. You know him as the former owner of McGarvey's, the newly former owner of McGarvey's. Again, congratulations, Mike. Louise Kirk, she's vice chair of the Annapolis Dragon Boat Club. She's also a breast cancer survivor, as is Mike. I'm sorry, you don't want to use the term survivor. You like... Warrior. Okay, we'll get back to that in a minute. And Patti DiMicelli, she's on the marketing committee for the Dragon Boat Club. Why do you like Warrior rather than Survivor?
Survivor connotates the Bataan Death March or the Holocaust or something, and we are fighting. The thing is, you don't let it drive you. You, with the help of people like the ladies sitting here in the room, we help each other. We're fighters, and warrior seems to fit better. Maybe there's another term that we might think of, but for now,
you like warrior.
I like warrior.
Yeah, Louise, you do too.
I do too. Yes, because it sort of denotes that we're going to kick a little rear end.
It's funny. I'm weird about it because here's something. Which stage were you, Mike, when you were diagnosed?
I started at 2 and got up to 4 and then 3 some way or other. Well, maybe I think the diagnosis were moving around a little bit more than the cancer.
So I was stage 0, and I'm kind of weird about saying that I'm even in the same club as you guys.
Oh, you
are.
No,
you have. Once you've had the surgery, there are so many side effects to that. And I was talking to a new member actually just last night. She was also stage 0 and is still dealing with the effects of the surgery, which can be life-changing. And
we in all fairness, we did talk about that before the show started. As many of the listeners already know, and as you all know, I am in pain for 4 years past my mastectomy and trying to get help for it. And Louise, you said you have some issues with your arm.
Yes, that's right. I had regular lymphedema, actually not on my arm, but on my side. And as soon as I started paddling, the club was suggested to me by my physiotherapist. As soon as I started paddling, I started to feel better. The swelling subsided, and I started to get my life back, really.
Good for you. Mike, do you have any long-term...
I have lymphedema as well in my right arm, but with compression sleeves and careful how you use that arm. I still run my boat. I have an airplane. I fly my airplane. It doesn't cripple me.
Right.
But it's there.
It is there.
Yeah.
And I just learned also Mike does not paddle in the Dragon Boat Club because...
Well, I was an Air Force pilot, and thank you for bringing this up, Donna, and crashed when I was in the Air Force, and
yet you
got
don't
a
call
spinal.
yourself a survivor. You've survived a crash in the Air Force, and you've survived.
That's the saloon business.
And you've survived the saloon business, right?
Yes.
To get back to it, you crashed while you were an Air Force aviator, and
Yes.
your back is now.
Well, it was. I got a compression fracture, and I can't twist unless it's chubby checker.
Okay.
And for those club members who can't actually paddle, we offer other services also. We take people out once a month on Saturday mornings in the paddling season. For anyone who can't paddle or who are still going through treatment, that's part of the club's outreach for breast cancer survivors, warriors, as you will, and to help the community at large.
And how many people are in the club?
No, we have 90 members and growing really quite fast. More than a third of those are breast cancer warriors.
Patti, how many of these clubs are worldwide?
There's over 2,000 as we stand here now. And some of them are simply breast cancer survivors only. Our club is sort of a hybrid. So out of the 90 members, we have 36 that are survivors and the others that support those survivors, because that is the core of why our club exists.
Okay, so again, the event is this Sunday. It's from 2 to 6. It's at the Annapolis Waterfront Hotel, which used to be called the Marriott.
Right.
Paddling with a Purpose. You will have, what's going to be featured during the event?
Well, our featured personality is Jamie Costello.
He's a good guy. We know Jamie, yeah.
Terrific. He's a big supporter of the club.
Is there entertainment?
And there's a DJ, there's entertainment, dancing possibly for everyone except Mike.
Unless Chubby Checker comes.
Yes, we have terrific menu, which I approved yesterday with our party organizers, and we have a fascinating silent auction.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of these. I'm really I want to go to Vail, so it's a no-brainer. I need to come down and get a
take
one-week
a trip to Vail.
And there's some other prizes here. We've got New York City, 2-night stay in New York, tickets to area athletic events, gift baskets. You have all sorts of great stuff happening.
Yes, and for example, one really interesting one that I think is fascinating is Jamie Costello will take us on a studio tour, and we can see the news being recorded as he actually does that in his studio in Baltimore. Really terrific things to be interested in.
Very good. Again, where can people get information about this?
Information at our website. Go straight to AnnapolisDragonBoatClub.org.
And people can come just to the event
Or
day of?
just show up at the door. You can buy tickets at the door. It's $40 at the door.
If there's one piece of advice you can give to people for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, what would it be, Mike?
We talked about the physical part of restoring your health, but the mental part. You get into this group. We're all in the same, pun intended, boat, and it's amazing how much that helps. I've considered myself a pretty tough guy, but getting into the group where nobody understands it except us, you can have empathy, but they really don't know. And those of us that have been diagnosed, we know. We're in the club, and they're such a help to each other. I think that's one as important as the physical therapy.
Yes, I
don't
agree.
You?
I
Yes.
absolutely agree.
All
Yes.
right. Mammograms also?
I was going to suggest running out and getting a mammogram. Yes. The earlier an issue is detected, the easier it is to deal with.
And I second that. And men, remind the women in your life to do the same. Women, remind the men in your life to check. Mike is sitting here as
That's
proof
right.
that it happens to all of us.
And I would have found it if I did the digital check, because after it showed up, I could feel it. Surprisingly, but I was exposed to nuclear bombs,
Right.
and I got highly radiated, so they think that's where it came wrong.
Well, again, glad you were all here today.
Thank you. We are too.
Thank you. This is the 1430 Connection. We will see you next week.